Good morning. It's 6 in the morning here. Still very dark. I hope everybody that listens is keeping well. I've been keeping myself busy, although uh, I haven't been, talking in person with almost anyone. I just can't. The brain waves just don't connect with, you know, I don't know what kind of illusion or psychosis these people are. I just can't have a discussion with anybody. But then again, you look at radio, you look at, if you listen to the radio and look at what's on the TV, and you will understand it immediately, right? It's manufactured psychosis, and I just don't want to be part of it. Sorry. I prefer the real world. Whew. Anyway, the funny thing about democracy is sometimes you get what you wished for. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes you get what you wished for, and then you are like, "What's going on? I don't understand." And your supposed leaders, they look at you. What do you want? That this is what you asked for. You see, most people don't see the forest for the trees, and even the wisest, like in the Lord of the Rings, even the wisest can't see all ends. So who the hell had the idea of letting the common meat golem have a voice, in affairs of a society, of a tribe? All right. How was the tribal system organized in the past? They had a council of elders. It was around 12 elders, and to be an elder, you had to have a certain amount of wisdom, yeah, and sometimes wisdom came with age. So it was the elders who decided the fate of things. Now you're letting common, 18-year-old, with their blue hair and their tattoos vote, and you get what you ask for. I mean, you get what you ask for. I see people desperately, dependent on economy or the system, shall we call it. They are desperately dependent on the system, and you can notice when they are gathering in groups, when they gather in the comfort of the group, uh, in cities, for example, 99% of the population of the West, I wouldn't say the world, I would say the West, are gathering around cities. They are desperately dependent upon, you know, government, economy, the banks, the bankster system. And they talk about slavery being a bad, bad thing. But gradually and slowly, everybody just decided to become again slaves. They don't understand what is the concept of a citizen or of a free man. They don't understand it. You get what you ask for. Why does it end up like this always? They are lazy. Yes, people are lazy. People are always looking for a savior. They're always looking for free lunch. They're always looking for the easy path of last resistance. There will always be evil people who will seduce you, and you end up with slavery. And then they cry, "Oh, how did we end up here? These are so tyrannical. These people, and you asked for it. Don't you remember? They are so stupid." You have to be self sufficient, independent. To exercit free speech, you have to free and independent. Nobody owns you. If someone owns you, you don't have free speech. Like most doctors, like most PhDs, like most philosophers, whatever. If they are owned, yeah, they can't talk the truth. They can't say the truth. You have to be self-sufficient. You have to be independent. Now there's talk about digital flatulence and minimum social income and smart cities, and those are just contingency plans for the masses, to keep the masses in check, because they all willingly went, you know, to become, you know, slaves. Basically, they are desperately dependent on what the system tells them to do, to think, to eat, and now economy is going down. Many reasons. I mean, everything has ups and downs. Nothing is eternal. And the way things was going is just unsustainable in the sense that there was too much opulence, too much arrogance. There's too many people working behind desks. Where does, things come from the sweat of your labor? You have to get your nails dirty, and you have 90% of the population working in offices. It's just not sustainable. Someone does a small percentage of what you call blue collar workers that are keeping things afloat while the rest is just grifting. It's just unsustainable. That's just nationwide. Worldwide, you have some nations, mostly, what they call first world countries. They live in opulence and comfort. They get their nails done every day. And then there's a small percentage where the resources come from that work like slaves, in mines, extracting, all the minerals so you can have a smartphone and a flat TV. Those are the ones enabling your lifestyle, but they are working almost for free so you can live in opulence. It is these disparities that are not sustainable. Eventually, someone is going to revolt against injustice, and that's what we're witnessing. Of course, there's many who love a conflict, a world conflict. There's so much money to be made if everybody is just in a conflict. It's been, delayed. So many people talking about it. Oh, we want it. We need it. Like Gollum, we need it. Foaming at the mouth, but it's been, slowed down, and I hope it doesn't come to be. Yeah, because I don't know. Look at what happened in the past. Entire cities, entire countries was leveled. Yeah, it's just stupid. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. But most people are stupid. Ignorant, stupid, and how do you discipline? For instance, there's children that are extremely, demon-like. I think it was Thomas Hall who said children are savages who desperately need, education. Otherwise, they will remain savage for the rest of their lives. You have to educate them, and sometimes words are not enough. You have to act with the back of your hand. You have to act, and slap them across the face so they can understand the seriousness of things. And that's exactly what, grown-ups end up doing to other grown-ups. What we call war is just everybody slapping each other across the face. You did this to yourself. So it becomes almost inevitable conflict because people are lazy, stupid, childlike, and they've been, slowly institutionalized, yeah, into a system, and they think they will take care of their needs. And no, you have to become self-sufficient, independent and self-sufficient. The concept of a citizen was someone who was independent and self-sufficient, you know someone who had the right to defend themselves. Yeah, everybody carried I don't know, a stick, a sword, a spear. Later they would carry a weapon, a rifle. They had the right to defend themselves. They are an independent person. When they take those things away from you, it means you're no longer independent. You know, there's still some places in the world which you have the right to defend yourself, defend your property, your family, yeah, and even carry when you are in the street. But those are still who held the concept of a free citizen. Um, what's that point? Calling the police when things already happened. You can't defend yourself. You're just enabling criminality. Anyway, um, I'm just ranting. I'm sorry. I value independence and self-sufficiency. You know, I value that. I value have chickens, sheep. I value produce my own wine. I value having my own potatoes, my own onions. I value those things. Yeah. If there was another, lockdown, these plans that they have, when they lock everybody, it's just, like in a prison. You are a prisoner, and whenever things are shaky, they lock you up. You're not free. They say, okay, you don't get out of the house. It's end of story. You're not free. People don't realize this. It's been a long time since we haven't lived in freedom. It's been a long time. So don't get surprised when they forbid you from getting out of the house. I value, having your own stuff. If there's another, crisis, the only thing I might, lack is salt because we live far away from the ocean. Salt might become, difficult to get to. The rest we manage. You know, we also don't need electricity that much at all. If you know how to keep food in alternative ways, you don't need electricity. You don't need gas to cook your food. You have firewood. You know, you see, people became little by little lazy and dependent, and now economy and world international politics is getting, problematic, and everybody's scared. They own you. They own you, and you will follow whatever they say. In the past, whenever there was an economic crisis, you didn't ask government to become more tyrannical. No, people just mind their own business. They bought less things and they focused on their farms, on extracting food and just getting by. I don't get to get to the cinema. I don't get to go to the barber. I don't get to go to get my hair or my nails done. I don't get to go to the supermarket or whatever that much. But people don't have as a way of surviving an alternative way. They are 100% dependent on the system. So if there's an economic crisis, there will be starvation and government will become tyrannical, because people are no longer self-sufficient. Well, government will become tyrannical because they have no other choice but to ask for more government. Give me more shackles, you know. So crazy. All of this because people are lazy. People love saviors. People love free lunch. Oh, they will give it to you, but there's a price for that. You're not gonna like it. When poop hits the fan, you're not gonna like it. I I get very tired of people complaining and of people projecting. Life is difficult. Life, for the most part, is pain, and it's not fair. Yeah. So there will always be pain, death, and taxes, always. So stop complaining and try to think for yourself, you know. But most people, they can't. They are lazy, arrogant, and they're always looking for a savior. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now. Have a nice day.